Alrighty, now let's go over the actual principles of good email design. What do we need to include to have good email design? Well, email design that drives clicks. That's all that matters. That's what we care about. Pretty does not always equal profit, okay? Long term, we do want pretty emails, but our email at the end of the day has one job: get the click. We need to get the click. So here's how to design your emails to hand the click to a customer on a silver platter so you can get as many people to your website and get as many sales as possible. So, button above the fold. So most users on your email are not going to scroll. People will open the email on their phone and just look at the top section and then leave. So we always need to give people the option to click if that's all they're seeing is this top section. So we need to put a CTA button in this hero section so every reader sees it immediately right when they open up the email. We have this one right here. We have this button right here, and we have this button right here. Perfect. Button above the fold for 75% of your emails. Don't need to include it in every single one, but I'd recommend majority of them. We definitely want to make sure we have a button above the fold. 2, on buttons, large, thumb friendly. Think about mobile first. Buttons should be at least 1.5 to 2 inches wide so they're easy to tap. We look at how small your phone is, and you put a small button, that's literally like this big. We want them to be like this big on our screen. This is as small that we would get. This is what I'm talking about right here. Look at how big this button is. Even a blind person could click that. That is what we're talking about. Make it, the bigger the button, I've never had a bigger button lose an A/B test in click rates. The bigger the button, the better. Then 3, clear repeating CTAs. A couple things here. Clear. We need to make sure our button is clear. So use different, you don't want to use like a blue button here or anything like that. Make sure it stands out and it's super clear. We like to add backdrops a lot on our buttons right here, so it kind of like has a 3D effect and makes it stand out. But we want to make sure it's clear, and we also want to repeat our CTAs. We don't just want to place one button at the end of our email. We want to make sure that we have buttons throughout the email. So repeat your CTA throughout the email so that if the customer is right here, they scroll, they don't have to scroll all the way back up to find this original call to action. We need to have buttons throughout our email. Don't confuse that with throwing a shit ton of buttons in your email. That's going to overwhelm the customer. We just want it to be just like a gentle, just like, hey, if you want to click, you can also click here. So this is a great example. Find your remedy right here, and then repeat that button right here, and then repeat the button down here at the bottom, and then you have the individual products. That's perfect. That's what we want. Center your buttons. So most people hold their phone in their right hands. Centered buttons reduce friction and boost taps. So we want to do this as much as we can. So like this is an example of, it's kind of centered. We kind of have it on center. Ideally, we want to have things right here. But, you know, when you have like an image where the character's like, or the person's on the right side, you know, every now and again, mix that in. That's completely fine. But in most cases, we want buttons to be centered just like these right here. And then right here, we have like buttons on the side, but like for general buttons, we want them to be in the center. Unless you're doing like these product sections where you're zigzag, that's okay. But for main buttons, try to keep them as centered as possible because oftentimes that will get more clicks. Buttons for each product. If you're showing multiple products, you need to have an individual button. Don't just show these products and then don't give the customer an option to shop them. You'd be so surprised. Like 75% of the brands I audit don't have individual shop now buttons for specific products. They'll just like be like, hope that the customer clicks on the images. But the customer needs to know that, hey, you can click right here and shop this item right this second. So every single time you show products, always have a button for that specific product right here. You can see there's no like way for someone to guess like, can I click here? No, we want to make it clear that click here and you will go to this page. End with a general CTA. Not every product will land. We show these products right here for this brand. What if somebody already has something similar to that? They don't like that and they have something similar to that. We always need to end with a general CTA. Close with the shop all or browse more button so that we can catch all clicks so that somebody scrolls through these products and if they didn't find a product they like, they just leave. Well, maybe you caught somebody at the right time where they're like open to shopping, or this reminded them, oh, this is a cute dress. I wonder if like I want something else. I don't know, whatever. If we don't have a button, then they're just gonna leave. But if we finish with a button for shop all, we're gonna pick up more clicks. So we want to make sure we have that. And then of course make the CTA stand out. High contrast colors and simple backgrounds. Your button should be the most obvious thing in the email. Like look at this. That's perfect, and that's what we want to do. So those are like the main overarching things. But let's go over like some of these principles. Principle number 1, ease of click. When customers are opening their emails, they are in zombie mode. Any friction in the ability for someone to click will automatically lead to churn. We need to hand them the click on a silver platter. That's what ease of click is all about. So to summarize that and to group everything that I talked about into these different principles, principle number 1, ease of click, have a button above the fold, right in the top section of your email. This way, every single customer, even if they don't scroll, they see a button. Make sure you have a large button. Make sure that it's clear. And make sure that it's centered. Large, clear buttons above the fold that are ideally centered. So we can see here, button above the fold. Here's a great example of button above the fold. Right when you open up the email on your phone, there's a button right there. You can see large centered buttons. Look at how massive this is. A blind person could click that. And then we have what an unclear small button would look like. So this isn't clear. It doesn't stand out in any sort of way compared to something like this. And it's very small. We don't want that. And then we have an uncentered small button right here, which is pretty much below the fold for Nike. It is, like if you open this on your phone, it's very small, it's this small, and it's uncentered. So ideally, we don't want to do that. So use these good examples right here. Principle number 2, we have skimmability. Super important. So we have ease of click. Now we need to make things skimmable so that people can actually understand the email. Nobody's sitting at their desk annotating their emails. They are checking their emails as they walk to the bathroom or they're on a quick break, whatever. On average, you literally have 2 to 4 seconds to get your point across. Nobody's going to look at your email for 30 seconds. So we need to optimize for the skim and not the read. So in our designs, we need to make things simple. We can't overwhelm. Make it easy to skim. Simplicity will always win. Adding too much complexity will overwhelm our customer. And more importantly, complex designs will distract from the purpose of the email, which is to sell. Keep it simple so users can easily skim and understand the contents of the email. Don't distract. We have smooth, clear sections. We like to make sure that people can understand that things are clear. The human brain likes when things are organized and clear, and I'll show you some examples. We want to be smooth, but also clear when we're differentiating the different parts of our email, and it's not just like one big blob. We want to be sure that this is super clear. To make sure things are skimmable, we need to highlight our main points, something super easy. Very few people are actually going to read your body copy in full, so we need to highlight or make clear what our main points are. Use icons to call things out. Highlight your main points, whatever. And then the most important thing, infographics, which we will talk about, and that's been talked about in the copy section as well, but infographics to mix our copy and visual elements so that people can skim. Nobody wants to read blocks of copy. Nobody just wants to look at a plain picture. We need to mix our copy with our pictures by using infographics. So here's a great example of a simple email. This is the whole email. How will I feel? Shop now, big button right at the top. And then nice and skimmable right here. You can look at the blend and the active ingredients and then the effects right here. Perfect. Simple in use of an infographic. We have simple here and then highlighted main points. Look at how simple this email is. Clear section right up at the top with the benefit, and then simple highlighted points. Clinically validated, engineered to survive, and superior science. And you can read more if you want. Perfect. Now this email is just way too complex. There's too much going on. They're trying to do too much. It's in 2024. I'm going to, and then there's this hard font with a post-it note right here, and then a weird shape of a button right here, and then hack the habit, and then simple change. There's just a lot going on. Lots of different design is kind of overwhelming, and so that, in my experience, hurts our customer churn. And then, of course, principle number 3, branding. Design can be beautiful, but unrelated to a brand. So to strengthen our brand, we need to make sure we have congruency across all channels. Without it, we lose all positive association. So we need to make sure we have branded graphics, correct fonts, and congruent styling. Pretty straightforward. So that's pretty much all that we need to do right there.